Homesteader family, welcome to this edition of End of Year in Review 2024. I'm going to go over all the New Year's new goals of 2024, what I accomplished throughout this year, what I didn't accomplish through the year, different things that happened throughout the journey of 2024, the goods, the bads, some of this, some of that, so on and so forth. So, I'm going to put the coffee down. And if anybody has questions or anything throughout, I got that set up so now I can see the comments. And I went ahead, I wrote some stuff down because I don't have the dry erase boards over here. They're still at the restaurant. So I sat there, went through all my pictures, went through the New Year's new goals. Oh, I'm sure some people got questions. Questions I might not want. Questions you may not want. Answers you may not want. That's the key. So I'm going to run through the breakdown and talk about all different stuff. I'll come back and scroll through the comments when I get through a bunch of this or halfway through, and then we'll go from there. So 2024, I wanted to finish the tiny home. I hope 2025 is great for you. Hope you can sell the rest of your real estate in 2025. I appreciate that, Scott, and I hope 2025 is good for you and everybody else out there. I've got a lot of big news coming up. 7X's. 7X's and Fringe Recall and Scott in here. Oh boy, it's going to be a crazy stream tonight. But I wanted to finish the tiny home. Yeah. I got the tiny home done, except I never completed the trim. So like I said, I never finished the trim from the wood to the steel. I never finished the trim up on the ceiling. So I didn't get that stuff done, but I had other priorities that took over. I wanted to clear for the solar so I could get solar put in so I could get moved over here to the homestead. I got that completed. I wanted to move to the homestead. Originally, I said by Christmas of 2024. Then I moved it to June 1st of 2024. And then I moved it to April 1st of 2024. Unfortunately, the tiny home did not get completed until April 26th. So I moved in officially April 27th. I could have sworn it was the end of March, but when I went back through my photos in my cell phone, the great thing about keeping all my photos and everything, I could go all the way back to January and see the progress and all the way back to like 2015 or whatever. And to be able to see that I was still working on a tiny home almost to the end of April. So I did get bumped out. And then I started to remember, I did say in some of the Sunday, Monday vlogs that I might change it to June 1st because it was going to take me longer. But I officially moved in April 27th of 2024. I wanted to plant a temporary garden. Never got around to that. That wasn't a priority. The priority was getting in here, getting solar and other things set up. I wanted to plant purple top turnips, and I did. I got a bunch of purple top turnips planted. I put a couple photos up, ate a couple of them, and then I got neighbors' pigs that came in and took everything out this end of summer, first part of fall. So I never got that fresh produce for me like I talked about in the video, and I don't have purple top turnips to feed the animals. So that was not good news. I wanted to get solar hooked up. I only have 2 batteries, the battery box, the inverter, and some solar panels. Didn't think I was going to get anywhere close to it, but my goal was to have 2 batteries, the inverter, and the solar panels to give me some power so I could live over here. Well, I've completed that. Plus, I got 4 other batteries, and I've been doing good on power, minus having to run generators sometimes. I wanted to fence a dog pen in here at the shed because like I talked about in the New Year's New Goal 2024, I could not move here if the dogs were not in a secure contained area because I did not want them taken off because I don't have perimeter fencing around the homestead. So I got that done. They're out there right there. You can see Chubbs and Mickey's out there right now. They're inside their fenced area, and they've got the dog door that I put in to come in. The shed and go out the shed. So I don't have to be here for them to go in and out. They can go out, go bathroom. I don't have to worry about indoor messes like at the restaurant. Luckily, concrete floor. So restaurant was easy to clean up any type of messes because it's not carpet, it's not wood, so on and so forth. I wanted to complete the new animal pen by April. Like I wrote down, discarded the idea for other projects. New Year's new goal 2024. I sat there and talked about, I had planned to have the pen done in 2023. That never happened. So my new goal was by April 2024. That didn't happen. I'm still working on the new pen. Is it going to happen this year? We're going to find out in the New Year's new goals of 2025. And then we're going to find out at the end of the year if it gets accomplished this time. Might be a third time or fourth time of not being done. I wanted to do brush pile fencing from up here at the shed and going down my driveway to Purdom Lane. I decided not to go with that idea because I've changed my idea on I'm going to do fencing now here from the shed, fencing down the driveway. So instead of having the brush pile for the windbreak like I wanted to up here on the mountaintop, I figured if I have the animals up here now, then I want to see the animals. I don't want to have the brush pile. I want to be able to see the animals. And then, you know, I can hop out the truck, walk right up to the fence. The animals are there. So I changed that idea, scrapped it for another idea. I talked about buying an AC unit for in here. I said I didn't want to pull one from the restaurant, but since I went ahead and left the restaurant and I was scrimping and everything that was occurring in Colorado with Colorado not making payments and the fiasco that Colorado turned into, I went ahead, pulled that AC unit from the restaurant, and then as we all know, it fell through the window and crashed, and it's junk. That's why I got the mini split. I wanted to build the third pen in the fall of 2024. Never even got the second pen done, so definitely not doing the third pen. And I'm no longer doing the 12 pen idea that I was thinking about doing. I'm changing the idea on that. I wanted to do rotational grazing, but I remember in Colorado, I had 50 acres fully fenced and the animals always had grass. They never ate it down to dirt because 50 acres is a lot of land. So I am now deciding, A, fencing is super expensive. B, now I'm doing new fencing, which is even more expensive than the original fencing I was doing. So to have all that extra fencing is going to cost way too much money. So now my idea is I'm going to use Purdom Lane, and on one side of Purdom Lane, I'm going to do a 50-acre pen pasture. And then on the other side of Purdom Lane, coming up to the shed, is going to be another 50-acre pen / pasture. So they'll be able to be up here where they come up to my house for half a year and then bump them on the other side of Purdom Lane for the other half of the year. So then that way each side has 6 months of recoup, which I didn't need in Colorado because they never ate it down. But then that's still the rotational grazing. It's just a lot less cross fence I have to do, and they have a lot more space. So 50 acres they can run. The camels like to run, horses, so on and so forth. So that's the new idea going forward there. I also wanted to clear both sides of Purdom Lane going down because the trees, and this is what I talked about in the last Sunday, Monday vlog, is when you buy a lot of land, it's a lot of maintenance. And all the trees keep growing back over Purdom Lane and trying to keep everything trimmed back enough to not get sticks smacking the windshield and everything else. Wanted to get that done. That did not happen either. So halfway through, okay. I wanted to get the outhouse built so that way I didn't have to go out with a shovel every time I needed to go to the restroom out here for when I moved out here. So I got the outhouse built in January and February. I wanted to get new windows put in the shed. The windows that were in here were single pane windows. Now I've got the dual pane windows with whatever argon gas or whatever they use inside for the insulated windows. I got new windows the end of February and got the windows put in. I wanted to get the solar system, the 2 batteries, and the inverter wired. I finally got that wired done in March. I didn't wire it. My buddy Steve wired it. So those of you that keep asking me solar questions, I don't know how I answer your questions. I know nothing about this stuff. I wanted to get the solar panels installed so that way I could start charging the batteries. And remember, I couldn't move over here till I had power. And like I said, as I go back and look at this stuff, it all makes sense on why I wasn't in here the end of March, like for whatever reason I was thinking. So I finally got the solar panel rack built in early April, and I finally got the solar panels on the rack and installed and wired April 15th. So then I finally got all that done. So then that gave the power here. And then, of course, I moved in April 27th, which I put on here again. I wanted to get a hot tub so that way I had a bathing situation because I was getting tired of running back and forth to the restaurant. So finally, in July 24th, I got the hot tub. So then that gave me a way to bathe without needing to haul water or drive back and forth to the restaurant, wasting gas, wear and tear, and things like that. And then in November came when Colorado sold, and I got part of what I thought I was going to get. Because remember, I said it first was listed for $495,000. I sold it for $395,000, which was a $100,000 loss. But I did an owner finance. And over the years of the owner finance on a 30-year note, the interest would have made up the difference. Now, there was a balloon payment, so it wouldn't have gone 30 years. But the amount of years it would have went is what would have given me the difference. So I would have never lost money. Unfortunately, like I said, I sold part of the note because he stopped making payments. That got me by a little bit to get more solar batteries. And then the buyers I could finally find only offered $290,000 for it. So just loss after loss after loss. But with that little bit of money that I got in November, I got the log splitter, I got the concrete plant, I got the 2 2,500-gallon water cisterns, which you saw in some videos and pictures of my rain catchment system I just did. Got T-posts. I had excavation work done. And I got a semi-load of cinder blocks brought in for the bathhouse, half the bathhouse, and the power building, which will be coming out next year. December was a big month too. I got all the trailer loads of fencing. I got the mini split system. I doubled the solar system. It's not installed yet, but I have it here waiting. I got the new big inverter. I got new 6 batteries. I got a new battery cage. And I have a new big pallet of solar panels. That will be coming up as well. I got the new shed for storage, so that way I can move everything out the restaurant. I've moved some of the stuff out the restaurant. I still got a long way to go. And then I got the rain catchment system, all the piping and connectors, and I got that installed in December. I wanted to sell Colorado. It did not go as planned. But like I just went over, it's sold, it's done. I've got nothing left to do with Colorado. And then the biggest disappointment was this is the worst Christmas in a long time. But 2025 Christmas will be big. The reason 2025 Christmas will be big is I'll have my solar double. I'll have more than enough batteries and storage and everything like that. And I'll be able to decorate. I got both sheds now. I got a gutter system. I can make little hooks for my gutter system that will make taking the lights off and putting on very easy. I'll probably make a video on that because I know everybody wants me to make videos on that. And that's all I have for 2025. Why this Christmas was the worst was I don't have the power. I did no decorating. I have no Christmas tree. I'm stuck in a tiny home. So yeah, it was a damper after being at the restaurant and getting the wood stove put in so I could sit by the fire, listen to it crackle, and have a kitchen and make a big turkey on Thanksgiving and a ham on Christmas and all the fixings to nothing. This Christmas, I heated a can of beans. So it was not the best Christmas for me. However, if we go back in the ages, a can of beans at Christmas was probably very good for some people. So we got to be thankful for what we have. A lot of people talk about some of these homesteading channels that they have millions of dollars and they got all these big shops and fancy tractors and all these different things. And it's unrealistic for a lot. And you got to look in the eye of the beholder. It's that way for everybody. You know, for me, putting $25,000 into solar, a lot of people can't do that. But my solar system is very, very tiny to a lot of the big systems you see on all these other channels. So, you know, somebody that puts $5,000 into solar, you know, thinks that they've got a good system, but somebody that can only get a $500 system looks at that as you being super rich. So always be thankful for what you got. Always be thankful going forward in where your journey goes, where it starts, how it changes, the different avenues, and make the best of life. And you saw 2024, what it was for you. Was it good? Was it bad? Was it mediocre? Were you motivated enough? Were you not motivated enough? Did you get what you wanted accomplished? Did you not get what you wanted accomplished? For me, 2024 was very good. Even though I had a bunch of bad stuff happen in 2024, it was extremely good for me. Because in the very beginning, January, I was thinking I wasn't going to be on the homestead until Christmas of 2024. And I got to spend over 6 months of the year here on the homestead, not listening to traffic, not having to drive back and forth every day, being able to go see the animals when I want, take the dogs for a walk when I want, and be able to enjoy life here on the homestead. So going into 2025, for those of you that make New Year's resolutions and goals and all that type of stuff, go back in your camera roll, go through all your photos, go all the way back to January, and just scroll slowly through and look at your life through that year and what you've accomplished through that year, where you started and where you ended, and add that motivation, add that spark, add that energy to 2025. So with that, I hope everybody has a great end of 2024, and I'll see you tomorrow, January 1st at 6 p.m. for the New Year's New Goals 2025. With that, like always, live happy, live free. That's the only way to be. I'll see you guys on the next video.